Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order, so we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, so President Brown is out tonight and Vice President Adams resigned. Therefore, I will be chairing the meeting tonight. Thank you all for your support. Let's go to roll call.
Acting President Guy,
Here.
Director Clayton,
Here.
Director Rodriguez.
Here. Thank you very much. First item is the review and approval of the minutes from the special meeting held May 28th.
I can read and approve those minutes.
So you reviewed them, so,
I'll second that.
okay,
Well, they're in order.
any discussion? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Okay, passes. Let's move on to committee reports. So General Manager Martin?
Acting President Guy, on June 2nd, your real estate committee met. The 3rd, real estate committee met, and on June 3rd, your executive committee met for agenda setting. And there was none. That's essentially functioned as the agenda setting for this meeting.
Okay.
So that's all I have on that.
Great, thank you very much. Move on to the third item, General Manager's report.
There's going to be a public event at Artcraft called the Browns Family Day on Saturday from 11 to 2. Sounds like it's shaping up to be a lovely event.
Okay.
So I encourage you all to attend if you can.
Out of curiosity, do you know how many people we're anticipating?
They're offering 300 free hot dogs.
Okay, so at least 300. Only question that I have, I saw the flyers, the only question I have is, I know what I had to go through in order to get a badge to come onto the airport property. I'm just curious, what is the plan to ensure that nobody that's not badged accidentally strays off into an area where they're not supposed to be?
They're going to be cordoned off, and there'll be badged people policing the perimeter.
Okay,
We've shared this with TSA, and they've said they didn't have a problem with it.
awesome.
We've done events like this with our craft before, so they have a good track record. So
Awesome.
I'm confident that we'll be fine.
Okay, and will we have?
And there's a permitting process that has to be in. They provide us with insurance.
Awesome. So, okay, I was just asking for my own benefit. Will any aircraft be on display?
Lots,
Oh, lots, good.
lots. In fact, I just found out the whole Corona Pilots Association is flying in for this.
Really?
Yeah, and our locals, the locals who have airplanes that are historic out, the museum is also providing sign-offs for the historic display day. So there will be a bunch of airplanes on display as well.
That is awesome.
I understand, yes, be encouraged it as a fly-in.
Wow. Okay.
I'd like to volunteer my time to, I'm a badge, so I can help monitor
Oh, thank
whatever,
you.
so.
Yeah,
I would donate some time to you guys.
appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the information. Anything else?
Just a heads up, I don't want to go into detail, but we opened bids for our 2 capital projects that we discussed in the past. They came back favorably with an estimate. So we've submitted that to the FAA. Now we are in the securing funding portion and in scheduling.
Isn't that kind of backwards that you have to get a bid before you can ask for permission to do such a thing?
I do as I'm told. They want the number to be accurate.
Yeah,
So
And it's 95% their money, so I just do it as they tell me.
true. So what's the projects we're talking about?
There's a hangar taxi lane, pavement improvement. And then the second project is, our continued work on Alpha and its associated connecting taxiways. So that's probably where we have the most. We had some base bid. We talked to the FAA all the time about this stuff. We just had a conversation today. We had a base bid, a bid alternate A and a bid alternate B. So we have to figure out how far into the project that was bid, the they'll allow us to go,
Gotcha.
so.
So you go stages on the bid type thing.
Yeah, so, because they're programming money all over the place, and they get to they're nearing the end of the fiscal year, at least programming the fiscal year. So projects fall out, and they still want to spend money. So you don't want to overplan it so that you maybe get lucky and get some additional discretionary funding,
Right.
so. Yeah, that's all.
Well, my first comment is that it's awesome. I'm really excited because that adds to our infrastructure
Yep.
plan for the airport, so that's great. The only question that I have is after, and I know this is gonna be a while down the road, but after we schedule it, how do we inform the hangar tenants, and then how do we inform everybody else of what's going to take place?
Sure, well, you do it in a public meeting, number one, you all will approve it, but the biggest challenge is gonna be that, because we're gonna be into the hangars and blocking them, so there's a whole PR thing we're gonna have to do, and I
Okay,
anticipate we'll schedule a meeting with the pilot community and come up with a phasing plan and
That's a good idea.
what the options are.
Yeah.
okay,
And
awesome,
it'll be a challenge for everyone,
okay.
because it's like paving your driveway.
We get it.
You know?
Yeah.
So. Oh, and I got an email this afternoon from Customs, and we're getting closer. No date yet, but that's part of, we're getting close. There's some work we have to do to determine what that date would be, but now they're asking us when we want to start.
Oh, good.
But I'll have more information, hopefully at the next meeting. Oh, and also regarding the construction projects, and hoping when we bring it to Tertalio, our engineers will be able to attend and provide you with a presentation. And we'll have a better idea of how we're gonna handle everything.
Okay, awesome.
So,
Thank you so much. I look forward to this. This is great. Okay,
With regards to the customs, is that what you're talking about?
no, I skipped over a detail on the capital projects. I'd like Tertalio to come in and give you an in detail presentation on exactly what we're doing, because there's gonna be some phasing, like the alpha work, we're gonna want it to be after Airfest. Because we want,
yeah.
something will go wrong, it will take too
Yeah.
long, but we will be in the way.
Yep.
The tax ceiling, we probably won't see a grant till August or so, so we have some time to do some planning and messaging. But, yeah.
Okay, awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Next item is manager of finance and admin report.
Yeah, so tonight I have the pleasure of presenting to you the demand register and the financial statements, which are just a receive and file. And I'm available if there's any questions.
Okay. Now, I believe that we've all reviewed these in
Yeah.
advance. I already asked my questions.
There was one previous to that, but whether or not that was our last payment to American Airlines, did you have any answer to that?
Yes, that was our last payment to them.
Very good.
Just for clarity, the new Oracle system is what we approved, and the last system that we had, we were already paying that same subscription pay, so we didn't add any extra cost. We
Correct.
just
Switch
switched
perspective.
it over. Cool. Okay, no, everything's good for me.
Well, I've gone over the demand register, nice, until we approve it.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great, motion passes. Okay, so this is the plan of the events. I'm going to read the public session statement. We are going to go into the presentation for Vector Airport Systems, and then we're going to hold the meeting until Chelsea is here for all the rest of the items, just so that everybody's aware. If Chelsea comes in the meantime, then we'll continue straight through. So at this point, public session, statements from the floor will be heard during public session. Request to speak forms are provided for those wishing to address the board. After completing the form, please give it to the clerk. Requests requiring board action will be referred to staff and brought on at the next appropriate agenda. Members of the public are cordially invited to speak on agenda items as they occur. Staff reports covering agenda items are available for review in the offices of the general manager on Tuesday prior to each meeting. The board will establish a time limit for receipt of testimony. The board reserves the right to establish further time limits for receipt of testimony. So do we have any statements? No. Okay. Then I would like to move on to item 6, the presentation by Annie Teixeira, Vector Airport Systems regarding plane pass for landing fee and billing services. Annie, are you there?
I am.
Awesome. Thank you for presenting tonight, Annie. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes. Is there a way that we can?
I have to make
So
sure.
that, sorry, just one moment so that we can share to for the public viewing.
Okay.
Okay, Annie, you are co-host. You can share your screen and then I will do the other screen.
Okay, great. Carrie, are you sharing the presentation that I'd sent you previously?
The second round.
Okay. That's fine. Let me go ahead and when we had talked, I made a couple changes to this one just to consolidate it. So we'll work through it. It'll be okay.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's generally the same information.
Yes, exactly. I switched the order a little bit and actually cut some things out, but it'll be fine. So, is my screen showing up?
Yes, it is.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys for having me. My name's Annie Teixeira. I'm with Vector Airport Systems. I'm an account executive, so my role is to work with airports on automating their landing fees, and we also do some consulting on kind of landing fee best practices and how to set those up. So we'll kind of go over all of that today. A little bit about Vector. So we started in 2005 collecting landing fees. Now we have about 40 full-time employees. We are headquartered in Virginia, but in this modern age, everybody is remote except for a handful of people. So I'm based in Denver. We do have some employees out in California as well. And we service right now over 130 airport clients. So we primarily collect their landing fees, but we do collect any airside fee that could be billed to a tail number. So that includes parking fees, custom fees, all sorts of different fees. We can put that on an invoice and collect that on behalf of the airport. So right now we manage about $80 million annually is what we're remitting back to airports. And we have over 70,000 operator relationships. So those aren't just individual aircraft, those are fleets that we have paying relationships with each year. So that helps us get that 99.6% collection success rate. So we are pretty good at getting those funds for the airport. And then I'll just kind of pause in between, but if you guys have any questions, let me know. California specifically, we have almost 25 airports in California where we collect landing fees on their behalf. So I mentioned $80 million a year, about 20 million of that is provided to the California airports. So we do have a really strong presence in California, which means that operators, especially the transient operators, are used to paying us. They already pay us each month. So the Santa Maria fees would just be additional revenue that they're going to pay at the same time. So this is a general infographic about how our process works. We do have many different data sources. One of them is a local ADSB receiver, but we do ingest redundant data sources so that we're never relying on just one. The other one would also be 1200 Aero. So that's a data provider that the airport currently has. We have a backend API with them where we can ingest that data as well for billing purposes. So all of that data comes in. We have a team of people that kind of scrubs it, puts it all together, determines what a billable event, determines whether or not it's within our scope of work. Then they generate the invoices, they send those out to operators, they collect those payments, and then they also provide the collections activity. So on any unpaid balances, we are doing that outbound effort to make sure that those funds are paid. So that's on a monthly basis. And then we provide reporting to the airport. We do hold back our fee, so we actually never invoice the airport. We just hold that back from the fees that are collected, and then we remit the rest back to the airport each month with those reports. Any questions about that?
Yeah, Annie, I have a question. So basically what you're saying is you're providing an automated means to collect the fees that we're already collecting. You're just automating it for us. You're doing the service rather than us doing it for ourselves.
We're not-
Correct.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay,
So what I'm understanding is that you're going to collect the fees that we're not collecting because we're on a honesty basis when the planes take off and land. And we're the only airport around that's on that system, and this is the system that all the other airports pretty much utilize. Is that right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's definitely the growing trend. Um, the Let me move down. I'll kind of show you the scope of work. Um, so the way that it would work, the airport currently has a landing fee. So if it's a base tenant, they would not be billed the landing fee. So what we would require from the airport is to keep us updated of who those base tenants are. So if there's any changes, the airport needs to manage that and keep us in the loop. But otherwise, everything else would be automated. The airport did request that they want to keep all the scheduled service in-house because they are self-reporting. So the airlines that have the regular scheduled service are going to continue that paying relationship. And then also the U.S. Forest Service is going to pay the airport directly. But if it's not those operators, then everybody else would fall under our scope of work.
And when the plane takes off, then they're automatically billed?
They get billed on a monthly basis. So however many arrivals they had during that month, they get an invoice the first week of the following month.
And do you think that this is gonna double our income?
Yeah, 0.
So let me scroll down here.
no, on the honor system?
It's not real.
No. It's not really the honor system, we're just not collecting these fees that you've approved. This is the best way to, this is like a hole that we would plug with the system.
Okay, but all based aircraft are waived.
Yeah,
This is a
I think
base
she'll go,
aircraft. Oh,
I think she'll go through it all.
under 8,000 pounds. Okay, so all of our general aviation,
This is only affect transient aircraft.
yeah, transient
So
aircraft.
essentially
Okay.
transient corporate traffic.
Okay,
But she
So-
said everything other than the fire department, or the fire out there and the regularly scheduled
Correct.
with the Legion.
Because we already have an agreement with them, we have a relationship, and I'd like to
Everybody
keep
else
the
is-
100%.
so this
Yeah.
would then be, the jet center aircraft and any private person that comes in to visit with a aircraft
Above
over
8,000.
8,000 pounds.
It would be the jet center's customer that's transient, it wouldn't be any jet center aircraft that are based.
Okay, sorry, the jet center transient aircraft, okay, I'm just trying.
Yeah.
Mr. Big comes in his big airplane.
Yeah.
And
But it won't have any impact on our T hangar tenants. Okay. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So sorry about that, Annie, I just needed a little clarification.
Yeah, no, it's an important clarification, the impact that it would have. So yes, any base tenants would be exempt from this, and then also anybody under the weight minimum. So one change that we did recommend to the airport is that right now the landing fee, like we're not changing the rate. That $2.50 has already been decided, but the way that it's applied right now is only to air carriers. And that wording of air carrier is an FAA definition of a commercial operator. So that could only be applied to people who are carrying cargo or passengers for hire. And when we ran some historical data using the airport's data through 1200 Aero, we came up with that the airport should have collected about 60,000, 59,685. The airport did not collect that amount. That's assuming that every operator came in on the honor system and paid. But that would have been the most that they could have collected. So our recommendation to the airport is to modernize that landing fee similar to what a lot of the other airports in the area have done, which is remove that commercial requirement and just put a weight minimum. So now we don't care whether they're a private operator or a commercial operator. We just care how big the plane is, because that also speaks to the damage that they're doing to the surfaces at the airport. So if you were to make that change at an 8,000 pound minimum, then the airport would have collected about 100,000, so 101,000 to the airport. So that's the recommendation that we were making to the fee schedule.
Is that 100,000 annually?
Hmm.
If I could just add a comment, you may recall the discussions we've had regarding ARP and the importance of maintaining it at above minimum level. These are the folks that want us to have ARF. So this is an opportunity for them to contribute to us having ARF.
Well, after going through the contracts and the negotiations for ARF, I had no idea until recently how much that costs the airport.
It's significant.
It's significant. It's, so, okay.
Okay, so that was going to be our recommendation. And if anyone had any questions about how big an 8,000 pound aircraft is, here are some examples. These are all between 8 and 9,000 pounds. So these are not your recreational aviators. These are, pretty big planes that are coming in.
Well, like, what about the Phenom 300? I don't know what that weighs. I see that one come in and that's not a based aircraft.
It'll be less. It's a very light jet, so it's actually coming in below that 8,000 pounds.
Okay, so all of our globals and our challengers will fall in this area, globals, challengers, and Gulfstreams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so this size and bigger. Okay, so this is the actual language that we recommended, something to this effect, which is take out the air carrier language and add just that weight minimum.
Already been done.
Awesome. Okay. So this just breaks down what the actual fee would be per arrival. So you can see that a lot of these aircraft are paying, less than $50 until you get to a 20,000 pound aircraft. So it's a very reasonable fee. I would even say in future years, especially with that 8,000 pound minimum, a $2.50 landing fee is on the low side. We see a lot of airports now who are implementing landing fees, not even just updating them, but implementing them, and they're, $5 or more. I would say anecdotally, the average is probably around $4. So there is some room for revenue in the future for the airport to kind of look at that landing fee. Okay. And then just breaks it down by weight category. So where your revenue is coming from, you do have a lot of revenue coming in at that 8,000 pounds. You have 986 arrivals. A lot of that is going to be the Cessna Caravan. You can see that there are more arrivals in these weight categories, but we're not going to be charging them. So it's just going to be in these heavier categories. And then our proposal to the airport is an 18% revenue share. And again, the airport doesn't pay us. We just hold that back from the fees that are collected. So with that landing fee change, we're expecting about 100,000 a year. Our fee will be about 18 of that, and then we'll remit 83,000 to the airport.
Question for you.
Sorry?
Question. Go back to that previous screen. The 18%, is that negotiable or is that?
It is, and it's been negotiated down. So our standard pricing would actually be around 20%. So this is some good faith that the airport is going to get closer to $200,000 in revenue at some point.
Gotcha.
I'd sure like to pay 10% or 8% instead of
I was
18.
gonna say 11, but
Okay,
Well, I'll tell you that we are collecting the landing fees at LAX and Van Nuys, and it's about 11 million a year, and they get 10%.
oh, yeah, okay.
we're gonna get there, so now.
Hopefully we
We'll
never
get up
get
there.
there, but yeah, okay, thank you, Andy, that puts it in perspective.
Yeah. But speaking to, also all of the manual work that we have put in to know who these operators are and that we can bill them. So I'll kind of call your attention here to this percentage. So out of those operators, it's going to be about 287 accounts that we're going to be managing. We think, I mean, that's on historical data, but we have successfully billed 97% of them. And that's because if you've ever looked up a tail number in the FAA database, a lot of times it says like Bank of Delaware or something very vague. We have done that research so that we know it's actually Linda in Tallahassee that pays their bills. So we have that contact information for Linda, and that's where we send the invoice. So after 20 years of doing this, that's how we're able to get that high success rate, is through that.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So you've got relationships with all these people already. Okay.
Correct.
That
Yeah.
helps. All right.
Yep. So we need to go build relationships with almost 3% of your transient operators, and that's it. Everybody else, they are already paying us at other airports where they're landing.
Okay.
Okay. And then here's the communication plan. The staff has been wonderful, especially Carrie. She's really gotten a lot of these things done already, but we typically, put some language on the airport website. We do have an FAQ letter that we also like to send to the base tenants just so they know what's going on and also reassuring them that they're not going to be billed. Some aviation directory contact information, just saying landing fees are applicable. We ship some signs and we do an email blast. We send those email addresses to the airport to send an email out. And then Vector, we have a charter company newsletter that we will put the landing fee information in there. We do a reminder campaign prior to the first round of invoices. And then we also update the ForeFlight app. So that's kind of how we get the information out there to the community. Okay. I think that's it. That's all I was going to go through, Carrie, unless I missed anything.
I think that's good.
Thank you.
Question.
I asked my questions.
What's the accuracy of your data? Collecting it from, the airplanes?
It's a good question. So no data source is completely accurate, which is why we never rely on one. So every airport, we use a combination of 3 to 5 data sources. So we believe that there is a much higher standard to create a billable event rather than just say, oh, it was an operation, as for counts, basically. So we hold ourselves to a really high standard. The accuracy we think is the best in the industry because we're the only ones who are actually billing somebody off of that arrival. But that being said, we do have a lot of airports who ask us, well, if your data is so good, can we have a copy of it? And the way that it works, if I scroll back up here to our infographic. So when we ingest all of these different data sources, one of the first things that our operations analyst looks at is it within our scope of work? And if it is, then we keep it. And if it's not, then we throw it out. So at the end of the day, we don't have a complete data set for the airport because like Allegiant and the US Forest Service, as soon as we see that arrival, we throw it out. And, we might see it 12 times and they only arrive 6 times. We're not going to scrub it and correlate it and do all of that because it's not within our scope of work.
Well, thank you, Annie. We appreciate you.
Yes, Annie, thank you very much for your presentation tonight.
No problem. Thank you, guys. If you need anything, I think Carrie has my contact information and it's on that presentation.
Thank you.
All right. See ya.
So that's item 6, the presentation from Annie. Item 7 is resolution 966, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Santa Maria Public Airport District approving a professional service agreement with Vector Airport Systems LLC for Plane Pass aircraft landing fee billing and collection services, and authorizing the general manager to execute the agreement in the form satisfactory to district council.
Well, I think that's a no-brainer. I think that we're getting to 0 and now we've got a chance of $100,000 minus 18%. I'll take 82% of something versus 100% of nothing any day.
I'm just curious, is this going to deter anybody from visiting our airport? Because
I think the type of aircraft that will be charged, this is, it's not even a routing error. It doesn't, and they're, I mean, there are 25 different airports.
yeah,
Are they gonna go to St. Louis instead? No, because Vector's there. Are they gonna go to Santa Barbara? No, their Vector's there. Are they gonna go to, to Lompoc? No, they can't fit there.
yeah. Okay, well,
And we're lower than what these other airports are charging as far as landing fee.
okay.
So who will this affect? Like, if we were to,
Transient corporate aircraft mostly.
Yeah, so I mean.
Private aircraft.
Yeah, so I
that are
mean,
on
like
that
the
side.
businesses here, or what would the effect be? Who would be,
If you are based here, your aircraft is based, registered here, you're paying your taxes here, you're not gonna be affected by this all. We're gonna provide, we have that information. We're required by state law to collect it and provide it to the tax collector. We will provide that to Vector, and if by some chance there's a discrepancy, we'll fix it.
Sure. What about, for the services industry, like, Coastal Valley, or I guess it's a repair service? Are their customers gonna be affected by this, or
I don't think
Artcraft?
they service anyone over 8,000 pounds.
Okay, I don't know, I'm asking the question.
But I don't, they're light aircraft.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, it'll affect Artcraft, won't it? Because you do have some large aircraft all the time.
And if your board wants to negotiate with Artcraft for some exception, you have all the power. You just tell us and we contact Vector and make that change.
Gotcha. Because I do like the fact that, if we have something that we want to get, revenue from that's affecting our runway, it makes sense, but also want to be mindful to businesses here to keep in operations and keep, keep in business. That's important.
Yeah, as we're trying to grow,
Yeah.
I don't want to deter anybody from
Yeah.
using our airport.
Yeah.
And I guess, we need to talk to Teresa and Alex about that. And I know you're here. I don't know,
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
I don't know if it's appropriate if you
Are
want
we
to say
allowed to
something now, or we can talk to you afterward. Just, because we know it's gonna affect Artcraft and it's gonna affect the Jet Center. And it's going to affect, and it could affect some of the other businesses, but I don't know. Like Saffron as an example, they bring in a plane, but it won't affect them because they won't care, but it will affect Artcraft.
Well, then, we can have that conversation certainly,
Yeah.
but I think we need help paying for the ARF that these folks want us to have. I think that's my biggest motivation.
Okay.
They need to contribute to that.
Okay, and that Martin, that is a really good point. After we've done all those negotiations on the ARF contract, looking at those numbers, they're staggering numbers. And Mike, I know you have in your presentation, you show what percentage of the budget is, so I won't get into that. I hear you loud and clear. That's a valid point.
You want to push this to the next meeting?
Well,
So if I could just chime in, so this isn't an agreement to build all of those planes. This is just an agreement
System.
to get it executed, and we can adjust as needed. So
okay,
this is only to get the ADB system operating and get into a contract with Vector Solutions. It's not necessarily we're going to bill everybody this rate for this amount of time. So if it affects a business,
Okay,
we can possibly bring that to the finance committee.
okay.
Have that discussion.
The system can be tailored to what your board wants it to be.
Okay, so based on that, I want to make a motion, and I know we have to vote, I want to make a motion that we accept resolution 966 as presented with the stipulation that we meet with Artcraft and Central Coast Jet Center and any other of our local customers that may be impacted, just to understand the impact to them prior to assessing those fees.
If I may, before the board
Yes,
takes,
please,
so
Chelsea.
that banner takes action on that, that we make to have pause to take any public comment on
Okay.
that item.
Okay, thank you, Chelsea.
Of course.
We
My
appreciate it.
apologies for being late.
That's okay. We were gonna hold up all the items that required legal until you got here, so thank you.
I made it.
Thank you. Is there any public comment relative to resolution 966?
Supposed to submit a form and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can fill it out after.
Oh, yeah, you can fill it out afterward because I want to hear what you have to say, Alex.
So this is probably gonna be, I hope I'm not long with it. I believe, your staff has done an amazing job putting the point that things need to get paid. And like Mike said, this isn't something that's like you guys are gonna take action into. Obviously, we greatly appreciate you guys taking us into consideration as one of your tenants. But I think overall, no matter what, we have to do what's best for the airport and paying for, big things that are being done, but we would love to have pleasing conversation to say, hey, maybe like there's certain airplanes that don't affect us at all for a billing period, but there is some that, there's a small margin that maybe if something can be negotiated, that'd be great. Cause obviously we don't want to, the small margin is the biggest margin for us in like profit.
We get it.
So that would be amazing. But obviously, we also know things need to get paid and, just if you guys would accept our data and then you guys can make a decision off of that.
Well, Alex, unless I misunderstood, the billing wouldn't go to Artcraft. The billing will go to the owner of the aircraft
Correct.
or the agency that operates the aircraft. So it would be invisible to you. Is that correct?
Correct, and this isn't a new thing in aviation, this is a very common thing. But, it is a factor that people will take
Sure.
into saying, hey, should I take it to, Chino, should I take the airplanes and that? Once again, it also on our part, having to understand like, okay, well, it might just be a nominal expense that the customer might not even care about,
Right.
and it isn't an issue, But we would love to give you our data of what customer we think it would affect, and then you guys can make an even more educated decision.
Awesome, that would be very helpful.
But if it
Thank you.
becomes an issue for you, we're very welcome to have you guys come back in and talk to us so that we can fix that small little percentage that makes a great amount of money for you guys. We want you to be successful.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
Second your motion.
Thank you. And I think, do we do a roll call vote because it's a resolution, Carrie?
Acting President Guy,
Yes.
Director Clayton,
Yes.
Director Rodriguez,
Yes.
Okay, next on the item, next on the agenda is item.
So do we have to set a committee or something to have a discussion with it?
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll set
you
it
got
up.
good.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay, item number 8, resolution 967, public hearing regarding the annual position vacancy, recruitment and retention efforts report in compliance with government code section 3502.3 AB 2561.
Yeah, so this is a new state requirement back in 2025. And this is essentially just us reporting out to you what our full-time positions were for the fiscal year of 25-26. And then any vacancies that we had throughout that year. We had one vacancy, which was my position. And it was due to a retirement. The state requires that if you have a turnover rate or a vacancy rate of 20%, that you do more thorough hiring reportings. So we're well under that limit, but I'm available if you have any questions.
Well, first off, thank you for the report that you added into the packet. We appreciate it because all of our questions were answered there. So thank you for that. Anybody want to make a motion and then we can have further discussion? Okay, any,
So this item is actually a
Oh,
public
the-
hearing, so we need to open the public hearing and have public comment and then close the public hearing before you make that
Thank
action
you.
on the resolution.
that's why it says public hearing right at the front. Okay,
He didn't hear, so.
yeah. Well,
It's okay, you're making me feel very validated.
It's good that
We're getting our
He's
money's
making
worth.
sure I'm doing,
Yeah,
I'm
We're
paying
getting our
attention.
money's worth.
Yes, yeah, on both of us.
Yeah, the test for
Not
me.
much else. Okay, so public hearing, so it's open to public comment. There was no pink form submitted in advance, but would anybody care to speak on this?
37.
No.
You already said.
Okay. In this case, we need a roll call vote.
If you could just officially close the public hearing before
Oh.
we do that.
At this point, I would like to officially close the public hearing for resolution 968.
Yeah, 967.
967.
Would you like a roll call vote?
Yes. Please have a roll call vote.
Acting President Guy,
Yes.
Director Clayton,
Yes.
Director Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 9, resolution 968, public hearing and adoption of the fiscal year 2026-27 operating and capital budget and establishing the fiscal year 2026-2027 appropriations limit.
Yes, so I do have a presentation. Let me see if I can get it to work.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm doing this one.
Or we could,
No, this is
we
good.
could swap. Do you want to?
Yeah, why don't we swap? Because I'm already,
You're already.
I'm already.
Okay, great.
You're in the matrix already.
I know.
Third time's a charm, Mike. We got this.
Yeah, unless it doesn't.
So Mike, you're welcome to proceed anytime you'd like.
Thank you. Well, let's see if this is gonna.
I'm learning a lot about it. That's great.
Okay, that's.
I'm prepared to switch.
Do you want to switch? Okay. There it is.
Here, you can control this about all of you. Thank you.
Okay, let's see if I can get this. There we go. Okay, so tonight I have the pleasure of presenting to you the fiscal year 26-27 budget and operating budget and capital budget for adoption. This is primarily unchanged from when it was proposed to you back in May, we'll say spring. And so we'll get right into it. So our first slide here, we have our budget at a glance. So we have our operating revenue of 6.7 million, operating expenditures of 8.1 million, and we are having an operating loss of 1.4. That is primarily covered by our non-operating revenue, which consists of passenger facility charges and property tax. For fiscal year 26-27, we also are budgeting 3.1 million in capital improvement expenditures. And that leaves us with our reserve level of 2.1 million, which leaves us with a 26% reserve for fiscal year 26-27.
And that falls within our mandate.
Correct, yeah.
So you're projecting 1.4 million loss this year?
Correct, which is closing, and I have that in another slide that I'll kind of show
A
you.
lot better than the year before.
Correct, yes, a lot better. So where do these resources come from? So they come from a lot of land and ag leases, our property tax, which is the non-operating revenue, our hangars, and then mobile home park, commercial aviation, and car rentals. So the revenue is pretty diverse. There's no single source of revenue that dominates, which is both a good thing and a, well, yeah, it's a good thing. And so, do you have any questions on this page here? I know it's a little hard to see that number.
No, I'm gonna reserve my questions to the end.
Okay. So where does the money go? So this is how the funds are spent. Our largest commitments are personnel, safety and security. So those are things like firefighting, law enforcement, security, and our conservation settlement, which is a part of our settlement with Department of Fish and Wildlife. And all of that encompasses our operating expenditures of 8.1 million.
Okay, so just
Yeah.
before you move off of that, so the top three, personnel.
Yeah.
Safety and security, which includes ARF,
Yes,
and the conservation settlement, which we talked about that at length.
yes.
Okay.
So our next slide here is our capital improvement project budget for fiscal year 26-27. And this is detailing what we are currently budgeting for our capital improvement projects. So we have two main capital improvement projects, one being the Hanger Taxi Lane project, and the second being the taxiway rehabilitation of Alpha Sierra Tango in uniform. And in our,
You're getting good at that.
I know.
Wow.
Keep
Good
practicing. I've
job.
been practicing.
Good job, you've been hanging out with Mark.
And in our next slide, I have a cool little diagram showing which projects are happening first. So taxiway A, S, T, and U are that section there in red, except, well, we just found out we're not getting as much FAA money as we would like. So it's about half of that red part there. And then our second project, the Hanger Taxi Lane Rehab, is that section in blue up there at the top. So we're gonna be doing a lot of hangar pavement work as well as taxiway rehabilitation. Again, we'll work on the communication and outreach to those tenants as well.
Okay, so it's the hangar, aisleways, taxiways, so
Taxi lane.
taxi lane, thank you.
It's the formal term.
No, I've been schooled on taxi lane versus taxiways, my team, so thank you.
All right, and then in the next slide, we have our operating gap. So that middle section there is our estimated operating loss, which is 4.2 million. And our projected operating loss for 26-27 is narrowing it down to 1.4 million. Primarily, it is due to a big chunk of that was due to the settlement costs, which were largely unbudgeted, as well as the loss of Maryland. Expenditures are going to start to normalize in the next fiscal year, and we are using our recurring non-operating revenue, so property tax, to close that gap. And our next slide, we have our reserves and our long-range outlook. So what this is showing is our reserve level for the next 5 years. Fiscal year 31-32, you can see it dips down to 19%, which is below our threshold for reserves, which signals, it's essentially a planning signal. So we will be more closely monitoring expenditures and revenue diversification in the next fiscal year cycle.
Okay, but obviously we don't want to see a downward trend.
Correct.
So that's something that we're going to work on as staff and directors to do what we can to pull it up. And many of those things that we're talking about, you've already done for the budget for this next year.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
I'd just like to comment, there's two contracts on your agenda that are gonna, we anticipate a cost saving of together about $500,000. That's not reflected in this budget.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask, that's a year, right? $500,000
Yeah.
a year.
What's that?
That's
Yes.
$500,000 a year.
Those are some of the items that we.
Is that the ARP from the
Talked about
police?
Yes.
And before you said that was the smallest amount you ever saw, $980,000. Now, this has got to be, Martin, the smallest amount you're ever gonna see, 748. Sir.
So for
These
So
are
for-
serious yelling.
For fiscal year 26-27, we have 5 top priorities. Our first being air service development. As of right now, it is mainly getting our terminal and our facility ready for the next time we do get air service. Economic development, which includes tenant retention, land use, attracting businesses, and increasing, or hopefully increasing our lease revenue. Safety and security, so ARP, LEO, and of course, maintaining our pavement. And infrastructure stewardship, which entails us creating a capital improvement project budget, which, as far as I can tell, is the first one we've done. And number 5 is our stronger financial foundations, which includes reserve monitoring, long-range planning, and maintaining our structural balance. And with that, we are recommending we adopt the resolution approving fiscal year 26-27 operating and capital budget and establishing the GAN limit, which is the tax limit set by the state of 9.9 million. That's not what we're receiving. It's just a limit as to how much tax revenue we're receiving this year. And with that, I am available if there are any questions.
So at Chelsea's recommendation, I'm going to open this up as a for the public hearing section. If there's any comments from the public?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Mike, a couple of meetings ago, you put up a really wonderful presentation on what I'm, oh, God.
We need to hear you.
This
in
has
the
gotta be
microphone.
official, this has gotta be official,
Okay.
It's because it's posted online
Yeah.
through YouTube.
on the cloud.
So we want to be able to hear you.
Thank you. Kim Huntington, a tenant, and also the AOPA, of course, a support network volunteer. I just have one really quick question because it seemed like it was a pretty good big gap in revenue. The numbers that you put up for the tax revenue received from County of Santa Barbara was under 2 million. It's always been just a hair over 2 million. What changed and why did it come down? Is it because of loss of people in town or is it because of something else?
So if I can respond to that.
Yes, you may.
So the property tax revenue for the next fiscal year is 2.5 million. So it's still within that amount. The 1.9 figure I believe you're mentioning was for the current fiscal year that we're in. And that amount was due to the way that property tax works is it comes in increments because it's collected twice throughout the year. So we get it in those same kind of increment. So in the first half of the year, you get a good payment. Then the second half of the year, you get another payment. And then what will end up happening is sometimes the people who pay late will trickle in and you get a third payment. So the 1.9 figure that we're referring to was before current fiscal year revenue. It was before we got our last payment. So that is in this current fiscal year, it was about 2.4. So it's going up just a marginal one.
I was gonna say the town is growing, I mean, it did make sense to kind of see a lower number.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, come on up, Alex.
So I'll fill in this.
We know where you live.
Yeah. Crap. So my question is this, so I seen in your awesome presentation. In your presentation, it talked about the next kind of like where everything's gonna be focused is obviously gonna be on terminal, like rehab or stuff like that. We're getting ready for new search. My question is, you know, we tried this over and over and over. And your second priority, which I obviously still top priority, will be economic development. But I would say maybe switch those and say, let's bring more business right to the airport. which realistically, more business, you know, and obviously airlines will bring jobs and stuff like that, but, you know, it's at a limited factor, right? And at the mercy of the schedule of, you know, whatever airline decides to, you know, make this a home or, you know, a leg. And, you know, maybe we could find another, you know, manufacturer or something like that, that say, hey, we have land that, you know, we can lease out to you long term, build a building here, infrastructure, stuff like that. And I know that's a long term like play, but at the end of the day, it's like something that's not just another incident like this just happening where, hey, it's not, doesn't make sense for us, we're packing up and we're leaving, right? It's somebody that would be you guys would end up recruiting and breeding them in the community and hopefully long term, you know, providing long term jobs for people and stuff like that. So that was my only thing of, you know, looking at it that way and saying, yeah, we obviously want air travel, right? In that commercial sense. But I think jobs and obviously tax revenue and stuff like that is also very important. And that's something I think Santa Maria is right for. We're a working community. I think that's what I think would benefit us in the long term.
I agree. With the land we got out there, we need to invite those people to come up and build those buildings and bring in those machine shop jobs.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you. That's, I agree.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your comment. And Alex, to your point, I do know the staff has been working, especially with all that activity increasing at Vandenberg. I know that our staff's been working with Vandenberg to support some of that new growth. But you're also right about the businesses we currently have on the airport property, as well as expanding that. So thank you for your comment. Any other comments? Okay, at the recommendation of legal, I'm going to close the public hearing for resolution 968.
Make a motion to adopt it.
Second.
Okay, and we'll have a roll call vote.
Acting President Guy,
Yes.
Director Clayton,
Yes.
Director Rodriguez.
Yes.
Great. Okay, next is item 10, resolution 969, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Santa Maria Public Airport District adopting a resolution calling and giving notice of general district election to be held November 3rd, requesting consolidation with the statewide general election and requesting election services of the County of Santa Barbara Elections Code 10403.
Yeah, so this is another kind of resolution that is essentially just consolidating our election with Santa Barbara County for their general election. That way they can send out ballots on our behalf. So we are kind of doing a joint effort with them and we pay their costs for that. So we have 2 seats that expire in 26. And then there is also a third one due to the resignation of Director Adams for District 1. So we'll have a total of 3, although it's not listed on the staff report for the resolution. So with that, we are recommending that you adopt the resolution.
Add a few things.
Yeah, of course.
So thank you, members of the board. I just wanted to add that currently the resolution is drafted to just reflect the 2 seats for District 2 and 4 that their terms are ending in 2026. The District 1's term doesn't end until 2028, but as just noted, it's vacant. For a vacancy, we have 60 days to either appoint or call an special election to fill that seat. You know, that determination on the vacancy was going to come back at a later time, but if the board is interested in consolidating an election on that District 1 seat with the county election, it would need to be a part of this resolution. And so should you just wish to also have the District 1 seat be done by election versus appointment and consolidated with the county's election, you would need to direct staff to amend the resolution in your agenda tonight to include that 3rd District 1 seat as part of the election. If you,
That would be the cheapest way, wouldn't it?
correct,
Special elections are gonna cost us
Yeah,
to
we don't
do that.
yes,
right?
and based on the way the election code is written, if you did decide to do an election without the consolidation, it would still happen on November 3rd of 2026, but it would be unconsolidated. So if you direct staff to modify the resolution today to include that, third District 1 seat in the consolidation request, we can do that.
And how much would that save us?
I don't have the numbers, but it's much advised to consolidate if you're
It's
considering
simpler
electing.
and it costs less.
Make a motion.
I'll let you do it.
I'll make that motion that she just said right there.
First, we need to do public comment, but yeah, I can help you with the motion when we're
I
ready.
set you up, I
Okay.
set you up, man.
So I would like to open this up for public comment relative to the vacancy of the District 1.
Oh, good. Just excuse me, no, we're not, the public comment is on the consolidation of the election and calling of the election, the agenda item 10. Public comment for that. There's no separate item for the vacancy, so we're just considering the election resolution. Mhm.
Okay, so we're considering the election resolution, but we're also
As
directing
part
staff.
to amend it,
Okay,
should you want to do that.
okay, so in order to do that, we need a new motion?
So first, you can just take public comment on
Okay.
the agenda item 10, and then when you deliberate,
Okay.
if you want to consolidate that third seat.
Item 10 doesn't say public hearing.
It's not a public hearing, but you still need to take public comment.
Public comment, okay, so I would like to open it up for public comment on item 10, resolution 969. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, any comments? Okay,
Doesn't want to do it anymore for me. My name is Teresa Redondo from our crowd, and I have a question. Do we have anybody interested on being appointed for District 1 right now? Do we have anybody?
Unless we see
No.
any response.
Okay,
I've put the news out to the local.
I still looking,
folks.
that's why I wanted to know if you
Yeah.
guys have anybody yet. No? Okay, that was my question.
Okay, thank you.
Do we need to fill it out with BB?
Okay, so now I need to close.
It's not a formal public hearing, but yeah,
Okay.
if there's no further public comment, we can go back to deliberation.
Is there any further public comment? Okay, so now we're gonna go back to deliberation. And the point that needs to be made is that we want to approve the resolution, but we also want to direct staff to add the District 1 position. Okay,
I approve.
well, do we need a new motion or do?
Well, if that's the motion someone needs to make and be
Okay,
seconded.
I move that we accept the resolution as stated, but also direct staff to add the position for District 1 director.
To be clear, you're directing staff to amend resolution 969 to include the vacant District 1
Yes.
seat.
That's absolutely what I meant to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's you seconded?
Yes, I-
Okay, and it's a resolution, so we need a roll call vote.
Acting President Guy,
Yes.
Director Clayton,
Yes.
Director Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the next item is item 11. So I'm gonna read this first and then we're gonna comment on it, okay? So let me read it first and then Martin, I'm gonna ask you for a comment. So item 11 is consent items are considered routine and may be approved by one motion. Any member of the board or staff may request to have an item removed from the consent calendar. If an item is pulled, the president of the board may consider hearing the item separately from the rest of the consent items. Member of the public wishing to speak on consent items may do so when recognized by the presiding officer. Comments or questions relative to item 11?
11A, we need to remove. That item's not ready for
Okay,
your action. And I would like a request that you pull item H for separate discussion.
okay,
And with that, unless there's other items you wish to will, act on the consent agenda.
Does anybody else have any items that they'd like to pull from the consent agenda? Okay, if that's the case, then I move that we accept item 11, all the consent items listed with the exception of item A and item H for approval at a later time, hopefully the next meeting.
You can open it for public comment.
Item H was for TSA, is that right?
No, please.
Oh, the police, okay, I see.
But you can open it to public comment if anyone has any comment on any of these items.
Okay. Anybody have any comments, any public comment on any of those items? Okay, no public comment.
So you're free to act on it.
Okay.
Agenda
Okay,
with that's still exceptions.
yes, so
I think there's a motion on the table and you're waiting for a second.
I'm waiting for a second, so one of these two
Second.
guys, second, okay, and all in favor? No, this is roll call too, because it's consent, okay, roll call please.
Big number consent.
Acting President Guy,
Yes,
Director Clayton,
Yes.
Director Rodriguez.
Yeah.
okay, thank you very much. That will take us down to item 12. For closed session, the board will hold.
No, we want to act on item H that I asked you to pull.
Oh, okay, so you would like to, okay, so we would, we'd like to go back to item H, resolution 972, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Santa Maria Public Airport District approving an agreement for supplemental law enforcement services with the city of Santa Maria and authorizing the general manager to execute the agreement in a form satisfactory to district council.
So I just wanted to clarify, we have on this document, it says that they would commence operations on July 1st,
Yes,
2026. That's not going to happen. And I just want to explain why and request that you approve this with this caveat that I'm going to present. I'm in contact with City of Guadalupe, their chief of police. Our existing contract requires that we have to allow at least 30 days to cancel that contract. The chief's going to get back to me. He may want to cancel it sooner if possible. The Santa Maria PD needs to take this to their city council, so they cannot act until the city council takes appropriate action to approve it. So that happened. So there's going to be some logistics in this handoff from Guadalupe PD to Santa Maria PD. And we just need a little discretion on how we handle all that. So we're not double paying for police officers.
Right.
So I would just simply ask that you approve it with the change being that the commencement date of the contract would be at the discretion of your board president.
or the general manager.
Look on the board president. He's
Okay.
involved in this.
Okay,
I approve.
well, you're gonna have to make a motion.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
I don't think we did.
We need public
Yeah,
comment
just
again?
give an opportunity to do public comment on that item.
We've never had so many opportunities for public comment in the past. Okay, any public comment? Anybody interested in commenting on that?
To save us money.
That's the plan.
It's,
$250,000
it will save us money.
annually.
But for clarification, we did put it out for bid. We know what services cost, which is how we got to this amount. And understanding how the previous contract was written, nothing was done wrong. It's just the previous contract allowed for, and the new contract is compensating for.
So, but what he's talking about right now is basically the overlap of the two services. We just don't want them to overlap. So we're letting the president make the decision for us. So we're saying that's what we're approving.
Okay. Then we'll close the comments and then roll call vote.
Someone has to make the motion. Second.
Oh, you want a new motion or hold on, use the original?
Comment?
Motion.
All you have that over? Yeah, sorry, I got out of order. It's my fault.
I think President Guy,
Yes,
Director Clayton,
Yes.
Director Rodriguez.
Yes.
great. Okay. Item 12, closed session. The board will hold a closed session to discuss the following item. At this point, if we're going to closed session, we need to ask everybody to please leave. And if you can, Harry, if you can mute, it will be fast if you want to stick around. Okay, we're coming out of closed session, and since I was recused, can somebody tell me if we had any reportable actions?
No reportable action.
Okay.
No reportable action.
No reportable actions. Thank you very much. Item 13, director's comments. Director Rodriguez.
I just noticed the mission statement for the airport. Provide a safe and friendly, attractive and economically sound airport through integrity and efficiency. And what really kind of want to focus on is friendly and attractive. I want everyone to enjoy this place, the tenants, the people that work here. I think we have a lot of good things that we can do together versus pushing each other. And I think that's what I'd like to see for the airport.
Awesome, thank you. Director Clayton.
Thank you, City of Santa Maria, for working with us. Thank you, Chief Dandridge, for stepping forward and making the cuts that we needed to have on this side of the fence to make it. Thank you for the ARF program and that they're going to be working with us in the future. That is really just golden. This is the golden age right now for our ARF program. We're going to be doing very well in the future. I think with all the things that we've just put into place tonight, I think Mike Flores, thank you for putting your hands around all the issues that were out there. Martin, thank you for hiring Mike Flores and bring him in here to put his hands around this to say, this is what we've got to do. We've got to decrease our overhead. We've got to build on the revenues to come in and get it into balance. And I can see now that we're going to come into a balance, and hopefully moving forward, we're going to be building, we're going to be growing, and things are going to happen for the future. You build it, they're going to come. That's where we're at, and that's what we're doing. And I think that we got a great staff making that happen. That's it.
Great, thank you. I would like to comment by saying that President Brown has worked tirelessly for weeks and weeks on helping us to negotiate and streamline and coordinate and collaborate with a number of the issues that came up. I'm sad he's not here to see these being approved. He's worked very hard. I want everybody to know that the director or President Brown has really put in a huge effort. We've been doing a lot of stuff here, and he's led the charge on many of them. And so I just want everybody to know how much I appreciate what he's done. I would also like to comment that this board packet has 199 pages, and we can thank Mike Flores for about 150 of those pages. And I don't want to comment on the fact that it's a large volume. I want to comment that there's work in there that I've never seen from this airport. What you presented, you've made it a lot easier for us to make decisions. I want you to know I appreciate that. But most of all, for the public, I want the public to know he's provided us enough data that the transparency and accountability has gone way up. And that's so much appreciated. So thank you to all the staff for working together. I know you got to put the numbers together, but the rest of the staff had to really tighten the belt. The rest of the staff has really had to make a lot of changes. When Mike Flores shows the loss in operating income, there's a lot of activities going on to recuperate. The staff is working very hard to ensure that the airport is financially sound, and I appreciate that. On that,
Motion to adjourn.
thank you, everybody.